Hi, Mr. G again. I'm ready to present a sports video on Hank Greenberg, not just a phenomenal baseball player, but even a greater person, a great American. Well, in the long annals of baseball history, there was a lot of great players, but there were some really important players who made a difference in the world. Jackie Robinson, the first African American to play in 1947 in the major leagues. Roberto Clemente, who had to overcome a lot of language barriers, became a phenomenal player and a great person for what he did. Frank Robinson, the first African American manager. Hank Aaron, breaking Babe Ruth's home run record, had to go through a lot of racial stuff, and a phenomenal player and a phenomenal person to overcome all of those obstacles. I'm going to talk today mostly about Hank Greenberg. Hank was born to Romanian Orthodox Jewish parents in New York City. He was so good he had three nicknames: Hammer and Hank, Hankus Pankus, and the Hebrew Hammer. Hank was born January 1st, 1911. He fought against anti-Semitism, and Bertie Tebbetts, a Detroit Tiger teammate of his for 7 seasons, said nobody took more verbal abuse in the history of baseball better than Hank, except for Jackie Robinson, who, as I mentioned earlier, broke the color barrier in 1947. Hank had an amazing positive influence on many players, many people, especially Ralph Kiner. Hank's entire career was with the Detroit Tigers, with the exception of his final season, 1947, which he spent in Pittsburgh with the Pirates. That was Ralph Kiner's second season. Kiner hit 23 homers his first season, and when Greenberg arrived in 1947, under his command, he suggested that Ralph stand back a little more, a subtle difference, but a little more in the batter's box so that he could get around more and pull the ball with more authority to left field, thus hitting more home runs. Well, Kiner's output went from 23 homers his first season without Greenberg to 51 his second season under Hank's influence. Kiner, big and strong like Greenberg, also a right-hand hitter, had a lot in common with each other, and they would become really good friends. And Greenberg's advice to him about hitting more homers came at no expense to his batting average, which he maintained as a very good batting average for most of his career. Kiner went on to go into the Hall of Fame, as did Hank Greenberg. Kiner led the National League in home runs 7 consecutive years. He was an amazing power hitter, as his protege Greenberg was. Sports writer Red Smith, an excellent writer and a Pulitzer Prize winner in 1976 for commentary, said that Hank earned all of the honors that came to him. Edgar Guest wrote a poem in the Detroit Free Press after Greenberg sat out a game on Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement, an extremely high holy day for Jewish people. Hank believed in his religion, was very religious, Orthodox, and this poem went like this: "We shall miss him on the infield and miss him at the bat, but he's true to his religion and I honor him for that." Again, that was Edgar Guest, a poem that he wrote in the Detroit Free Press. After the 1940 baseball season, Hank registered with the Selective Service. He was a hero to me because he re-enlisted voluntarily in February of 1942 in the U.S. Army Air Corps. And he missed 3.5 more baseball seasons, in all 4.5 baseball seasons during the prime of his career. This was after he had already served in 1941 in the Army, missing all but 19 games in the 41 baseball season. He made me proud to be an American, and for the Jewish people, proud to be Jewish as well. The consensus was that, as great a baseball player as Hank was, he was an even better person. And now I have some numbers to go over about this great player, great person, Hank Greenberg. That's a picture of him in his prime with the Tigers. If you combine the best one-season RBI totals of baseball's top sluggers throughout history, only 3 players ranked ahead of Hank Greenberg. Lou Gehrig had 857 RBIs in his 5 best seasons, starting with 184 was his best. Jimmy Fox, 806. Babe Ruth, 805. And Hank Greenberg, 788, with a high of 184 RBIs in one season. Not only was he in great company with those players, but the last thing I want to mention is, what might he have done if he didn't miss 4.5 seasons due to the service that he did for his country? I came up with a per season average of 39 home runs and 130 RBIs, because if you just take the last full seasons before the war and his first full seasons after and prorate those numbers, that would have given him a total of 506 lifetime homers, 1,585 lifetime RBIs, 2,375 hits and 1,860 RBIs was the total. 585 RBIs was the additional amount of RBIs for the seasons he missed. And this would have placed him even well above what his final numbers were, which was still quite phenomenal. Like I said, Hank Greenberg, a phenomenal player and an even greater person. Signing off, this is Mr. G. So long. Thank you.